Okay, welcome back to another trading mindset lecture. Today we're going to be diving into a heavily requested masterclass on cultivating patience and discipline as a trader. There are a lot of guys and girls out there who message me saying, I just can't be patient, wait for my entry. I can't be patient on this journey. I can't be patient towards getting a funded account. I don't have discipline in my trading. I don't have discipline to sticking to my trading plan, etc., etc. I have a lot of individuals who come through my 12-week program with these same challenges, and we dive into these topics in extreme detail in the 12-week program because I really believe patience and discipline are two cornerstone characteristics of successful traders. I recently did a lecture, an interview with Richard Jackson, who's a veteran trader with 20 plus years experience. He said these two things are the key cornerstone that he's seen with successful traders. So when we talk about cultivating patience and discipline, this is a very important discussion to have for traders, and I don't really see anybody talking about it. So I wanted to share my theories on this. I'm going to be diving into my ideas that I've developed over the last 6.5 years as a trader myself, through my studies of human behavior and psychology, neurology, etc., etc. My work now, working one-on-one with hundreds of traders and having thousands of traders go through my programs, also consulting for education companies and prop firms. And we're going to be sharing some key insights here. So let's get into it. I'm super excited. Now, the first thing to talk about, this is the simple overlooked truth. Now, it kind of baffles me that people don't really look at this and realize, you know what, that makes a lot of sense because it's so simple. Maybe because it's so simple, it's overlooked. But everybody has discipline towards things that are important to them. Okay, this is so important to recognize that. Let's imagine you had your best friend or your kid or your parent or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever was in trouble and someone was going to hurt them, God forbid, whatever, but someone was going to inflict harm on this individual, the person you loved. Nobody's going to be sitting back and being like, you know what, I am not disciplined enough to go and help that person. I'm procrastinating. I'm too lazy to help that person if they're getting hurt right now. So yes, it's a little bit of an extreme example, but you have to recognize that because that individual is so important to you, because the situation is so important, so urgent, you're going to spring into action. You're going to have spontaneous action and you're going to be motivated. You're going to be disciplined. You're going to go and help that individual. So everybody has discipline towards things that are important to them, truly important to them. Now, some people lie to themselves and say, well, this thing's important to them, but they don't actually show, their life doesn't show that it's important to them. They don't work towards that thing every day. They're not disciplined towards that thing. They don't spontaneously act towards that thing. So that thing isn't truly important to them. Now, the question you want to be asking yourself is, if you feel like you're not having discipline towards your trading journey in general, you want to have a look at where you do have discipline. A lot of people say, I'm not disciplined, I'm lazy, I procrastinate all the time. And I just tell them, stop. Where do you have discipline? Okay, oh, well, I'm very disciplined in my working out and my fitness and eating well. Great. So you do have discipline, but you're expecting your discipline to be in a different form. And as a result, you're beating yourself up because you're comparing yourself to other people and you're saying you're a lazy person. That isn't true. The truth is you have a hierarchy of values, priorities, things that are important to you right now to things that aren't important to you. And the things that are higher up on that list of priorities you're going to be disciplined towards. The things that are lower on those values you're going to be non-disciplined towards, or non-disciplined towards, not have discipline towards. Okay, so if you're beating yourself up saying I'm a lazy person, which isn't true, it's just a label because you're comparing yourself to other people, you want to ask yourself, okay, where do I have discipline? Where am I active? Where do I show signs of motivation? Where do I spontaneously act? That will show you what's important to you, truly important to you. Now, this will give you an indication to your value system, like I just mentioned, what is important to you, what you value. Now, if, for example, you don't have discipline towards your trading and you're beating yourself up because you're comparing yourself to your mentors and to all other people in your communities, and you ask yourself, okay, where do I have discipline? Okay, and then you look in your life and maybe you have discipline towards educating, looking after, and helping your kids. Well, that's an indication you have a very high value on family and looking after your kids and growing up your kids, and maybe trading doesn't align with that. And if you had an option to go help your kids or to trade, your life demonstrates that you're going to go help your kids. That's fine. There's no right or wrong value system here, but you want to be honest with yourself and have a look, where do you have discipline? Where are you motivated? Where are you intrinsically inspired to act? And then what you can do is you can make a link between what your life demonstrates is most important to you, your true value, to your trading. And you just ask yourself, how is me going off and dedicating time to developing my trading going to serve and benefit the development of my kids? And how is that actually going to help what my life demonstrates is most important to me? And when you make that link clear in your mind and you connect those things together, now in your mind, every time you go off and work on your trading, in your mind, you're actually also helping your kids if you make that link clear by having a look at the benefits to your kids. Okay? So by going in there and first and foremost identifying where you do have discipline, showing your value system, and then making a link between your true value system, what's truly most important, what your life truly demonstrates is most important to you, and the action steps you want to do to help you become a great trader. Make that link by linking benefits. I've talked about this extensively in gaining an unfair advantage as a trader, and I talk about this extensively in the 12-week program. In week 1, I give you the tools. I show you exactly how to go in and do this. You now have discipline towards your trading because you don't see it as separate to your true value system. You see it as on the way to achieving what is truly most important to you. So this is somehow overlooked, and somehow people go off and label other people as lazy and non-disciplined, which I think is stupid. I really think that's silly because you're overlooking the person, what's valuable to that person. You're not asking a good question. I worked in education for a couple years, and I saw this so clearly. I saw that students were being reprimanded for not following a set criteria by the school system. These kids were called lazy. These kids were called undisciplined, sometimes even labeled ADD and ADHD and put on medication. But if you look at the kid's life, they had their own value system. They had things that were important to them, and that's where they had their discipline. That's where they had their motivation. That's where they were extremely focused. And the school system just completely disregarded that. And because they were projecting and pushing their agenda on the kids, they just labeled these kids lazy, which was, in my opinion, stupid. It was very ignorant. Imagine if that school system turned around and asked the kid, what does your life demonstrate is most important to you? Maybe it's their video games. Maybe it's sport. Maybe it's skating. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's just science. I don't know, whatever it may be to that individual. And imagine if they brought that to surface and they had an awareness of what was actually important to that student, and they then learned to communicate the school curriculum in terms of what's important to that student. And all of a sudden they'd have engaged students, the kids could go off and do what they wanted, plus get good results at school, and somehow that's overlooked. So please pay attention to this because it's very important, it's very profound if you get it. Make sure you know what's most important to you. Your life will demonstrate it. You'll have discipline in it. It may not be your trading, which is okay. It's okay to admit that, my trading isn't my top priority. Maybe my family is, or maybe my health is, or maybe my other business or my work is. That's fine. But just do the necessary links that I teach. I teach in detail in the 12-week program. Week 1, we go straight into it. But take the action steps that will be conducive with you becoming a great trader, and ask, how are doing these things going to serve and benefit what my life demonstrates is truly important to me? Now, if you're not being disciplined towards the entries in your trading plan, right? If you go outside your trading plan, what your rules state in your trading plan, what that means is that you're not certain that your trading plan will get you your goals as a trader. So you need to go back and really make sure that what you've put into your trading plan is true to you, has an edge, and you have complete certainty that it will get you the results you want to get. And if there are any components that you're uncertain in, great, go and find the answer to them by back testing. The issue here is that a lot of traders just get a trading plan from their community mentor and they expect themselves to trade it, and they don't have discipline in it because they don't truly believe in it. They don't have certainty that it's going to get them the results they want to get. So make sure, if you're not sticking to your trading plan, it's a feedback mechanism telling you you're not certain in your plan. Go and patch the holes in your plan, have certainty in your plan, make sure it's congruent with you, and I guarantee you have discipline in your plan. You'll stick to it. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. That's such a little key overview here. Again, we talk about this in detail in the 12-week program, so if this resonates with you, get in there, that would be of value. Now, when we talk about patience, first and foremost, I want to identify what is it that actually drives the opposite of patience. What drives impatience? What would lead to someone being impatient so that we can reverse engineer it and find how you can be patient? Now, the thing that drives impatience are the positive expectations that we project. Okay, so let's imagine we are going for a funded account and you have a certain target you need to hit with these funded challenges. And before you get into that funded account, you create this story in your mind about all the positive things that funded account's going to give you. Okay, you're going to have more money. You're going to have a nice fast car. You're going to get yourself a Rolex. You're going to, maybe have a new partner that you can date, right? Real hot person you're dating. And in your mind, you're creating all these stories about what all that money is going to give you. Okay? Now, you're addicted to that outcome now, that positive outcome, and that's what's driving your impatience. Because now you want to get to those positive expectations and positive outcomes you've created in your head quicker. You want them now because your lower mind seeks after pleasure and wants to avoid pain. So you want to get those things now and have them now and get there quicker. And that's actually what drives the impatience. It's the positive expectations that we project in our mind onto things like a funded account or onto an individual position that drive our impatience. This is where FOMO comes in. We now fear missing out on that. We now, if we're looking at Eurodollar and we're thinking it's going to go up, and in our mind, before we get into that position, we're projecting all the things we think we're going to get from that position, the money, the percentage, maybe that's potentially the thing that's going to pass our funded challenge, the glory we're going to get in our community if we catch that move. And if we project that onto the trade, we now fear missing out on that. We have FOMO, we get emotional, we go away from our plan, we jump into positions too early, we become impulsive, we overtrade, we revenge trade, and we are impatient. So it's our positive expectations that we project that drive impatience. The lower untrained part of you, your lower trained, untrained lower mind, tries to seek pleasure and avoid pain. That's all it wants to do. It wants to seek after those positive expectations. That shiny ball you're chasing doesn't actually exist. Everything has two sides to it. Okay? Everything has two sides to it. A funded account has advantage. Yes, you may be able to leverage more money, but that doesn't come with consequences. There's more stress. There's more accountability. Right? So there are two sides to everything. That shiny ball you're chasing, the positive expectations you're chasing, are these positive-sided, one-sided events that we create in our mind. Now, everything has two sides to it. One-sided events only exist in our mind. We create these one-sided fantasies in our mind. They don't actually exist in actuality. They're not real, but we create these things in our mind. Okay? And it doesn't take much to prove that. You just go through your life and you have a look, all these things. Think about something that you really wanted previously. You had projected a fantasy onto it. The best example is in dating, right? You had this person you thought was all positive, one-sided, and then you spend 6 months with them and the other side starts to come out and you start to crack the fantasy. Truth is, every human being has two sides to them. Every event, every funded account, everything has two sides to it. The only place one-sided events exist are in our mind. And if we create these one-sided positive events in our mind and we project them onto funded accounts, we project them onto individual trades, we're going to have impatience. We're going to have all the emotional volatilities that come as a result. So be hyper aware of the expectations you project. This is why I created the Bulletproof Your Mindset tool and made it a free resource for every individual. So you can build up the self-awareness before you get into positions on what expectations do I have in my mind. Am I outcome-based? Am I process-based? This is why I created a 12-week program to train traders and give them the processes and the tools to build up awareness and see other sides of events before you go through them, and to balance your mind. These are the key things you need as a trader to be a poised, balanced, patient, disciplined trader. Okay, in summary, everybody has discipline in their own unique form. You need to find where you have discipline, and you need to make necessary links if you don't have discipline in your trading. If you want discipline in your sticking to your trading plan, you need to make sure you're certain in your trading plan. You won't be disciplined in a trading plan a mentor gives you that doesn't resonate with you. You need to test it. You need to prove it to yourself. Impatience comes from your unrealistic, positive, one-sided expectations. That's what we impulsively seek after impatiently. Ground those one-sided expectations. Realize everything has two sides to it. Don't project outcome-based expectations in the market, and you're going to have patience as a trader. Okay? These are very simple things you can do that will transform your trading. And I put my 12 steps, everything I've learned over the last 6.5 years by being a trader myself, studying human behavior and psychology, working with education companies, prop firms, working one-on-one with hundreds of traders, having thousands of traders come through my program. I created all the principles, the lessons, the theories, all the tools you need, all the accountability you need to actually start thinking like a professional trader. Put it all in my 12-week program. And if you resonate with these lectures, check out the 12-week program. That will blow your mind. You get an immense amount of value. But I look forward to seeing you all in the next lecture.